Hello class. This week we're talking about line, which is, line is just a mark on a paper, a continuous mark, and we're talking about a gesture line, which is a specific kind of line. So a gesture drawing captures the energy movement of the subject. It can also capture emotion. So let's look at how it does that throughout art history. We'll look at images throughout art history. Okay, so in this Raphael image, we can see there's a lot of fast curved lines. So this image is of Madonna and Child, and these fast curved lines create a sense of warmth and caring and love. And so curved lines reference the body. They also can feel kind of like a hug. So that's going on in this image. This is also an image that shows, so this is Rembrandt, and it also shows a lot of caretaking in this image, but a very different version. So there is a little child, and they are being guided by these two women. The lines are very straight up and down, which connotes like stability. And so they are guiding the child. I'm not sure if the child wants to be guided that way. They are guiding the child, so there's maybe a little bit of discipline or at least just guidance in this image. And the lines really convey that. So the image of what we're looking at, it conveys that, but also the way the lines are drawn also convey that. This image by Manet is a very, an image that shows like energy, and it captures the energy of the city. So now remember, these are usually gestures are more sketchbook-like images. So this is probably something he's just looking out a window and trying to capture what he can see as fast as possible. But that line, like when you're doing that, sometimes you start to draw a figure like this one, and you can't. They're walking too fast, so you just filled it in. It's almost like the person became a blur. So these lines become reference to the movement of the image. Here, this image is very, there's a lot of grief in this image. So Kathy Kollwitz was an artist that was working between World War I and World War II in Germany, and during that time there was a lot of famine. And when you have, and so she was documenting this famine. And so in this image, there's a little child, a baby. You can see the baby's very skinny, and it has passed away. So the mom is completely grief ridden, and these lines here, these dark, heavy lines under her armpits, will really show that grief. And you can imagine the artist pushing as hard as possible and dragging that down. It's almost like the way she pressed on the paper is similar to the emotion that the figure is experiencing. So the lines that we create this sense of movement and these emotions, and you can have a very heavy line, and that will convey something very heavy is going on, emotionally heavy. Here, so this is a longer gesture drawing, so the gesture drawing is taking probably an hour or so to draw rather than a fast drawing, but it's still very fast gesture-like lines. And those lines, instead of in a long curved line, it's like little short lines. These little short lines, to me, like show kind of anxiety, because they're like The figure itself looks very worn out, but the eyes are opened wide, and it makes me think of insomnia, like you are just exhausted, but you can't even shut your eyes. This image, the two figures are stuck in some kind of box or contraption, almost like the edge of the drawing becomes the edge, the figure, like the edge, whatever is containing the figure, that becomes their edge. The lines are very thin, and and the thinness of the line almost makes the figures feel transparent until they get extremely dark, and then it becomes really heavy. So it's almost like they're ghost-like, and then they get heavier and dark. And so again, the emotion in this is very dark, depressed, trapped, confined. It's kind of a terrifying state to be in. Okay, so our last image technically is not a gesture drawing because it's a finished drawing. Gesture drawings are usually more considered sketches. This is a very, very large drawing, way larger than the walls behind me. And but the artist, Lise Hout, is using gesture drawing. Like the mark is a gesture drawing. The speed at which he's drawing and the way he's drawing is very much in the vein of gesture. And when I look at this image, the first thing I think of is just chaos. So much chaos. It's hard to tell what to look at, what's going on. As I hone into it, I see a figure right here, and then I see a city in the background. And it feels very overwhelming, and it feels like I'm not, like I said, not sure what to focus on. And I think the way the line drawn also conveys that sense of chaos. Okay, so I'll show you a couple examples of students' work. So they were using charcoal, which I'm not going to require you to do at home. We'll get to charcoal eventually. But I just want you to see that the drawings I'm asking you to draw are very fast, fluid drawings. You are not, they will only take about a minute to make. And so you really, you are not making these complete, like beautifully drawn out drawings. They're just fast images to get line down, get movement down. And some of you know the figure really well, so you'll be able to capture that figure. A lot of you have no idea, you've never drawn before, and the figure won't be in proportion. That's okay. I'm not looking for proportion. Here's another one. So you can see these lines. So it's 3 figures on one page, 1, 2, 3, and the lines are very agitated, the way that they're drawn, or kind of angled and really just very agitated feeling, where these lines are a lot more fluid and smooth, again conveying very different feelings. All right, so oops, let me. All right, so next week we will be talking about contour line. So after you finish the project for this week, we will go into contour line next week. I hope you guys have a good rest of your week, and that your first week back to school online, even though it's online, was a good first week. All right, see you later.